Acentalk, bringing future technology.
Welcome to another episode of Acentalk. We are talking about bringing future technology. While talking about bringing future technology, we can't forget about the human factor or the human resource. Today we have three gentlemen from Acentura who are going to talk about the human resource. So we have the Chief Executive Officer of Acentura, Mr. Chandan Ranasinghe. We'll start from him. Welcome to the show, Chandan. We have seen during the last few years, gradually the Acentura has become one of the key players in the industry as well as a key attraction or the attraction for the employees. How it had become a key attraction for employees? What is the secret behind that?
Well, Prasanna, for us at Acentura, employees are first. We know for us to service our customers better, we need the best people with us. So we consider bringing in and grooming people for their best potential is a key for the success of the company. So we have multiple strategies or multiple programs to bring right people and groom them to their best potential.
To attract the right people, right, you need to identify the right places where these the talents are grooming. How do you identify the correct places, and what is your strategy selecting the employees or the talents to your company? How do you approach them?
Over past 7 years, we have realized that the fresh graduates are the best ingredient for us to develop the right people for the organization. It has been proven in our past that those fresh graduates we have brought in and trained well in the organization has actually developed to take even some of the senior leadership positions. So because of that, we firmly believe going to universities, build key relationships, and bring the right fresh graduates to offer the onboarding program is the right strategy.
After you hire these talents into your organization, so next is transforming these talents to suit your organization, and also the same time to suit your customers. If you deploy them in one of your customer space, how do you do that, and what are the challenges you face during that?
A good question. Over the last 7 years, we have matured a process which has essentially 3 steps. Number one, during the hiring, we follow a process to filter or select the fresh graduates who are having the highest IQ, best subject matter knowledge, and also another very important ingredient for the software services industry, which is their ability to communicate and interact with people. So once we bring such fresh graduates into the company, we run them through classroom training, which has all the necessary theoretical knowledge to be successful in the industry, and then we place them through like a pilot project. We have a pilot environment within the organization that actually where they can try some of these new skills they obtained during the classroom, and then finally we actually put them in front of real customers with our seasoned employees, so that they can actually get to know, or they can learn how to really work in a real customer environment. So that's a process there.
So we have another gentleman with us today. He's Mr. Andre Landis. Mr. Landis, can you tell us what is your role within Acentura and what tasks you perform?
Yeah, Prasanna, basically I am playing the role of the HR and administration at Acentura. I'm a CIPA member with almost, let's say, 30 years experience in different industries like, say, the construction, then shipping, medical, and in IT. So my ultimate objective here is to utilize that experience as well as the knowledge that I have acquired to provide the strategic direction to the organization from HR perspective to achieve the company objectives.
Okay. Within that, you're talking about the strategic direction, right? So, what type of initiatives that you have taken at the Acentura to achieve that strategic objective? Definitely to attract the best experienced talents to your organization, right? I think that is the utmost strategy. So, how do you and what are the initiatives you have taken?
Yeah, Prasanna, now regarding this, of course, now we have to understand the mindset of lateral hires. Now, when you compare lateral hires with the fresh graduates, the lateral hires have, more power to evaluate the organizations before they take the decisions on their move. So they evaluate, the organization from different perspectives. First, I would say, in one hand, they think about the stability of the organization, right? The growth or the progress of the organizations. Now, in that case, of course, now we have proven, right? We have a track record of, let's say, in 2020, we have shown a very steady and significant growth, like a 300% growth from headcount perspective, right? So that was done when the organization, mostly the software IT companies as well as other industries were seriously affected with global challenges that we had due to COVID-19. So how we did that was because we had a very clear vision to the organization, and the performance of each individual was very much meaningfully aligned with the company vision.
And when you are hiring, when you are talking about the lateral hires, I know they are very demanding compared to the fresh graduates. So how do you face that, and how do you come across these type of challenges?
Yeah, Prasanna, now I was speaking about one perspective, right? From the other hand, when they join with the new company, right, they have three main concerns. The first thing is they think about their career progression. The second thing is they want to know the clarity of objectives, the company, right, where they are heading, right? And the third thing is they are thinking about the exposure that they get at the new organization. So when we think about the career progression, right, now they want to know how far they can go within the organization, what the avenues that are open for them to facilitate their career progression. Now at Acentura, of course, we have a program called individual career vision planning. So in that discussion, of course, from the day they start work, they feel that difference, right? So we basically sit with them, let's say after 1 month, right? So we sit with them and plan their career for the next 3 years. There we identify their vision, their plan, as well as then we explain the company plan, right? And we set certain objectives for them to achieve during that time, and we monitor them, and we provide the necessary support so that career progression concern is addressed there. And regarding the other concern about the clarity of objectives, now I would say that we have a very industry standard performance management system where we communicate the company objectives to each and every individual at their level. Now when we do the strategic planning and all those things, also we get the feedback and input from the extended leadership team as well. So they know that every individual know, right, what they does and how they do it, right? They have a very clear understanding, and they have a clear vision about their business objectives as well as how they are interdependent. The third concern was regarding the exposure to technology, right? Now thanks to the executive leadership representing all tracks, now our people have the opportunity not only to become competent in the current technologies, right? They get the opportunity to acquire skills and knowledge for the future demand or the trend in the industry. That's how we address these three concerns, Prasanna.
Right. And how do you compare the industry attrition rate and your Acentura, if you compare?
Yeah. Now, if we think about the attrition rate, of course, Prasanna, it's a very significant something to the IT industry, right? Because now if we study all these past records, now in the software industry, it is very rare people make plans to stay in an organization for a long period. So it is very unique to IT sector, and it is actually, we have to be proud of if we can groom a person, right, where another organization can hire at a very higher level even. So we are not bothered about it.
So Mr. Amra was explaining this 300% growth in terms of the headcount, and the next gentleman will explain within this growth what is his role Let's move into Mr. Anand Ganeshan. Tell us, what is your role within Acentura?
Yes, thank you, Prasanna, for having me on this session. And I am doing role as a finance director and overseeing internal, external branding activities of the company.
Right. You are telling that you are handling the finance, one of the most key factors of the company. Right? And also, we all know we are going through a very tough time with this COVID pandemic situation. Tell us, how did you achieve your target even within this pandemic situation? How did you strategize to achieve this target?
Yes, Prasanna, we started operating of Acentura in 2020 January. Once after start the operation in March, we had faced the COVID pandemic, and all industry was shaked without prior knowledge to face this situation, and country was closed for the business without any guideline or any process. At that time, we set together and we focused on the revenue. So the focus is the most important point to achieve any company's target.
So, in the other sense, what you are going to tell is like you have, rather than focusing on the cost, you have focused on the revenue and the growth.
Yes,
right?
as you told, Prasanna, we focused more areas on the revenue other than the cost. So we plan to achieve our we plan to achieve our goal without change our goal, but we change the way of how to achieve the goal. So we use the alternative path to achieve the goal. Uh, as a result of that, we could manage this pandemic situation without any layoff or pay cut for the employees, and we could manage to give the increment as well for this period.
Let's move back to Chandana. I want to ask this question. So, you are attracting like existing good talents, as well as you are attracting fresh graduates from the universities and other ecosystems, right? The next question is definitely, I know, the retention, right? So, what is your strategy of retaining these talents?
Yes, Prasanna. I think it's a very important question. I would say engagement. Engagement and engagement is the way to retain somebody.
How many engagements?
Multiple. Because, it's about having a family. Next to your permanent family, we become another family for all of our associates.
Acentura family.
Acentura family. We celebrate birthdays with them, we celebrate other special events with them, we provide them the guidance, coaching and mentoring, we do Aurdu with them, we do a lot of CSR work with them, so that there's actually multiple touch points and ways of engaging each other will help us to create bonds, and it's actually beyond just the work relationship. So they have somebody within the organization they can go to when they have a career problem or even a problem related to certain other areas, so that there is somebody to hear their problems. We might not be able to provide all the solutions, but at least there's somebody to hear these problems, right? And then wherever possible at our professional relationship level, we could be able to help them. So I would say at Acentura, we truly believe in this engagement and bonds.
Actually, for my next question, you have already given the answer. So I was going to ask about the attrition. So I'll change it in a subtle way, right? So compared to Acentura, I think the attrition rate of the industry is very high, right? What are the key reasons you see as a industry, the IT industry, for this high attrition rate?
Once somebody said we are in an industry with high skills and high egos. So, the generation we are working with has the very high expectation. They are very ambitious people. So, when you deal with the
Alpha and the Alpha generation, Alpha and
that's
X.
right.
Yeah.
That's right. So when you're dealing with a group of people who are having very high ambitions, so we need to also be conscious about what they want to actually achieve long term, where they want to go. So now, for example, say people do leave Accenture, right? But I think we make sure that they leave because they can't actually. That's actually for a very genuine thing that they can't actually do within our control. So for example, say some of our associates leave for higher education, right? Full-time higher education. But after we offer them to work with us and pursue their higher education, and if it is not the option they want to take, people do leave Acentura for some of the foreign opportunities. So some of our associates have left to accompany some of their spouses or families abroad, right? So those are the real reasons that we can't give them an option with it. But wherever, if we can give them an option to work with us while actually perceiving their ambitions, or they're going to their ambitions, that's a preferred path we take.
Okay, we are talking about like how to sustain and keeping the employees or the talent. So something came into my mind. You have a model of engaging your employees with your customers, right? Then I'm sure these employees or the talents are interfacing into two cultures. One is Acentura culture, other one is the culture of your customer. Right? How do they cope up with that? And if they like are they facing any issues with that in your experience?
Prasanna, this is part of the service industry. The skills that a software engineer or a software professional should develop in dealing with the software services industry. I don't think the software product industry might have this significantly, but the nature of the services industry is that the teams will always directly work with the customer, right? So how we work with it is, we try to inculcate the Acentura culture through various different ways as they join our company. We have a company induction. This induction is meant to not only give them the subject matter knowledge or the knowledge about our standards and the processes, but we also talk about how we operate. And then we give them the exposure to work with some of our senior people, and during that period, they understand some of our core values and how they should demonstrate those values in front of anybody. Then when they go in front of a customer, they can also practice our value system, our culture, and they can also deal with the customer the way that the customer is expecting them to work with their organization. But having a very strong foundation of Acentura values and Acentura culture is actually helping them a lot to deal with this two organization problem.
Right, very interesting. And let's move into Mr. Landers. Right? In your point of view, right, what differences do the employees feel about their roles and responsibilities at Acentura, as well as are they satisfied about their contribution to the company?
To address your question, Prasanna, whatever we do, right, we have to do it with a meaning. So the Acentura has a very clear 3-year vision that has been communicated to all employees, right? And we have a very good strategic plan as well. So we have clearly defined what we are going to achieve and how we are going to achieve our objectives during this period. So extended leadership team also, I mean, representing each accounts, right? So they know the set directions and objectives because they have got actively involved in making these plans. Right? So they very closely work with the senior management to set directions for the individuals. So it is very meaningfully done, and we have a very unique framework in designing individual objectives, right? So we use actually this entire exercise as a tool to, I mean, improve communication, internal communication, as well as the relationship between these extended leadership team as well as the employees, Prasanna. So they are now, we are not setting individual objectives just to achieve what the company want, right? We put much effort to understand what their objectives are for this period. So, and we do our best through that framework to, I mean, integrate these two aspects. So then the people have a motivation to do, because they are not just working for a company or helping the organization to achieve their objectives. They are achieving their objectives while supporting the organization to achieve our objectives. And on the other hand, of course, now if we think about the performance evaluation process that we have, Prasanna, we let every person to have a 360-degree feedback regarding their performance at each level. I mean, even the executive level as well as the most junior person, they get a 360-degree feedback regarding their performance. That is how we have aligned and made them motivated to perform with the understanding.
That means it's a kind of a mechanism for them to see how they are performing, as well as like it's kind of they will feel like their hard work is paid off, right? Okay, right. Thank you. Then let's come back to Mr. Anand then. Okay. So tell us that I also have experienced that Acentura has a unique culture. Right? It's different from other companies, and it's a unique culture. How do you ensure and how do you maintain this culture?
Yes, Prasan. You know, there are main three stakeholders in each and every entity. So one is our client, another one is our shareholders who invested the company, another one is team, is employees. So companies or entities culture should be aligned and enjoyable for those three parties. And you know, in this era is more socialized era. So as a result of that, we also have a very open culture, and once you onboarded to the company, so your position and designations are representing only for performing your duties and duties and tasks at the client place or and the company only. Other than you are treated as a same. Even though you are CEO or you are engineer, you are senior engineer, you are intern, you are assistant, so no any difference. We call everyone from their first name. That is why we are maintaining very open and transparent culture of the company. It started from the orientation period. So in the orientation program, we have orientation program. At that orientation program, the executive member, the executive team of executives message that is very transparency this company, and it makes the each and every individuals to gel and align and work together very comfort zone in this company.
If I ask you, what are the values?
Prasanna, there are three main value. One is integrity, other one is respect and leadership. So our culture is set around those main values. So we always try to give the right respect and dignity to our employees. Then only we can work as a team and we can achieve our target.
Moving back to Chandana, we have seen that the dimension of human resource management also changed drastically. It may be due to the industry changes, and also it may be due to the generation changes and so on. Right? How do you think, what kind of futuristic predictions you have towards this talent management, and also how do you see that, what type of fresh challenges you will face in future?
Present, we are looking at a couple of things coming in. Number one is that as the most of the global companies moving with this whole working from home model to Sri Lanka as a lucrative destination for sourcing their talent, we see that the demand for human resources is actually going drastically up by the new players in the market. The second one is this pandemic has given us a challenge. 2020 did not finish or allow most of the universities and institutions to finish their final year programs. So there's I think the current estimate is at least about 3,000 entry-level engineers are not coming into the market as expected. So with that, we need to really kind of align our company vision and the strategy to bring in the talent that we need. So number one is that we are trying to build our leadership within. So we have this program called the Extended Leadership Program. So we have some of our next level leaders participating in our management and leadership activities in an ongoing basis. So they are being mentored, coached, and also trained to take next leadership roles. So we have this extended leadership program covering various levels of the organization. The second one is that we are also looking at providing more training and mentoring opportunities for the new technologies and also for the new domains. Acentura is right now serving customers in telco, insurance, learning management, lifestyle, and high tech. So we are acquiring the banking customers right now. So we are planning to move into some of the manufacturing, retail domains as well. So providing our employees to gain domain knowledge in these new domains will allow them to really kind of get a better and a great exposure other than the technology. So these are some of the new avenues that we're pursuing in terms of really kind of creating the necessary supply of the talent into the company.
Moving to Mr. Landers, we know that salary is not only the main factor when it concerns the talent, the human resource satisfaction or the employee satisfaction, all these things, right? So how, other than their salary review, how does their performance support their career progression within Acentura?
Yeah, actually, I was much talking about performance today, I think, right? Now, I need to emphasize the career development metrics that we practice at Acentura. So now, as you said, we know that salary is not...
Is it metrics you made specifically
that
for
that is
yourself?
for Acentura, actually. We,
Okay.
After a lengthy study about the technology requirements and the various things, we have designed these metrics. And there it clearly defines for each level what the soft skill that they need to acquire, what the technological advancements they have to obtain, right? And what the responsibilities or the tasks they are going to handle at each level. For example, for an engineer, what is the skill set at engineer level, and if they are going to be promoted to senior engineer level, what are the soft skills that they have to acquire, what are the technological, right? Likewise, the responsibilities that they are going to handle. So there, of course, the person has a very clear understanding about their eligibility to be evaluated for a promotion. Yeah, so as Chandan said, the training, mentoring, coaching, and everything is included in that metrics. So when a person is, we have given a word that you will be promoted to a senior engineer level in the coming 6 months or 9 months, of course, the objectives are automatically set through that metrics, and they are aware of, the skills that they need to acquire. So likewise, things are there to manage their career progression. Prasanna. So ultimately what we want is people to meaningfully and heartily, with the heart, right, to contribute toward the success of the organization. That's the ultimate goal of this performance management system in the Acentura.
Yes, moving to Mr. Ganeshan, the whole story about this, the service industry, right? It's knowledge, right? So, what are the knowledge management initiatives you have taken?
Prasanna, as you said, the human resource is the most important resource in the world and the most difficult to handle as well. So, we as Acentura, we hardly believe that our resource is our future and is most important for growing as well. So, as a result of that, so we taken few initiative to improve our team's knowledge. So the first one is we started one tech talk series. So each and every individual of this company then can come forward and they can share their knowledge with others what they gain. And we started the one blog series who has the skill to write, and others people can enhance their writing skills in their specific area, and then we will publish in our every platforms, our websites and our social media platforms, and we give some respect to them, and they can write the case studies based on what they achieved as a challenge and how overcome in the industry. That will help to our other staffs as well. And we have appointed one go-to person, and we following each and every individuals very closely, and we identify what they need, and we will get the feedback from them. So, and we will conduct the training session by participating some industry leaders resource. Those kind of are the main initiatives currently we are running to enhance the knowledge of our teams.
So, while the empowering them with knowledge, right, the another key aspect is make engagement, right? So, how do you looking at that aspect, and what are the initiatives for the employee engagement?
As I told previously, this is a very socialized era. So people are willing to enjoy the life, not strict to the work only. So we have identified that, and we have initiated few engagement session. So each and every month we have one gaming platform. So each and every month we schedule one game to the in the virtually. Then they can come and participate and enjoy, and spend some time with some other colleagues. And we could manage to do few other activities as well while facing this COVID, by respecting health authorities guidelines. Or we run the one single and Hindu New Year festival, and a leadership team and movie night, and there are few things in line. So in pipeline, sport day and our other activities in future. Once the country is back to normal, we will organize, and we will make those as a successful event.
Thank you very much, gentlemen, contributing to enlighten our audience with your knowledge. And with that, we are concluding another chapter of Acentalk. Stay safe, stay in touch by subscribing our channel. Thank you.